Ghidorah was lost in thought, his mind consumed by two pressing concerns.
I'm at an impasse. Who might be trying to murder me? If the assailant didn't even alert me to their presence, that lowers the range of possibilities greatly. I have my thoughts on their identity, but...
Ghidorah admitted to himself that he was too afraid to voice his suspicions.
What if my forebodings are true? It would mean all my plans, and Yuki's gang's plans, have been playing into Emperor Ludorah's hands all along.
Ghidorah thought about Emperor Ludorah's extraordinary longevity and unmatched power.
He has lived far longer than I have. He commands knowledge beyond any average person's perception, and he has the power to match. It wouldn't be strange at all if he saw how events would transpire and made his move decades in advance.
Ghidorah's thoughts shifted to Yuki, potentially in danger.
If my suspicions are true, Yuki is in danger. But should I warn him or let him be? That's the problem. I'm firmly on Rimuru's side right now. I'm hardly a stranger to Yuki. I have a decent enough affinity for the man. But I can't rock the boat. If I'm truly concerned, I could reveal everything to Rimuru and seek his advice. But if I disclose all this uncertain intelligence and turn out to be wrong, it'll destroy Rimuru's trust in me. I've already betrayed the Empire once. Any further loss of confidence would jeopardize my position.
Ghidorah's mind was paralyzed by the pros and cons of his options, unable to take action.
That face, that ambition, it's identical to Emperor Ludorah's. But even the sight of me didn't faze him. He truly appears to know nothing, and I doubt he's a fake. There's no way Ludorah could be there. No matter the angle, I conclude it's someone who resembles Ludorah.
But doubts lingered.
What if that person is His Highness? No, that's absurd. I must conclude I know the murderer. If my hunch is right, Yuki's in trouble.
His conscience wouldn't let him ignore the danger.
I'll warn Yuki and inform Sir Rimuru. Friendship comes first.
Then Ghidorah made a magical call to Yuki.
Yuki, it's me, Ghidorah. Listen, I have advice.
Whoa, this is sudden.
I know, but I must. Think about my position. Sir Rimuru might doubt me.
Yuki stays silent and listens to what Ghidorah wants to say.
Just beware of nighttime assassins. I'll handle my end.
Ghidorah ended the call and headed to report to Rimuru. Ghidorah was skilled at guiding apprentices and subordinates, emphasizing clear communication. With a sense of duty, Ghidorah approached Rimuru. On Yuki's side,
So, the old man's okay after all, huh? And I guess he's made himself at home over at Rimuru's place even.
Do you mean Ghidorah? Well, I'm sure he did. Even a former demon lord like me has always found him too difficult to handle.
It was. I gained my position in this nation thanks to him, and just now he gave me some of the most valuable information I could ask for.
Oh, did he? And what did he have to say?
So, apparently Masayuki is the spitting image of Emperor Ludorah.
Huh?
Right? It makes no sense. I thought that wizard finally lost his marbles, but it doesn't seem like he's joking.
What do you mean?
Yuki recalled his encounters with Masayuki. His smile dissolved. Looking back, Masayuki hadn't been summoned to this world. As he put it, I turned around, and next thing I knew, I was here. He was a visitor, someone who came to this world out of sheer happenstance, or so he thought. But...
That's strange.
Actually, let's save Masayuki for later. Right now we need to talk about the guys watching us.
Oh, you were piquing my interest just then, but you're right, it's a bit stifling being observed like this all the time.
Right? It'll hinder our plans, and before that, I think we're gonna have to dispose of all our preparations anyway.
What was that?
If the old man's telling the truth, it's safe to say we're in serious danger.
Then yes, now's no time to be talking about that Masayuki boy. And that Ghidorah. He sought an audience with the Emperor only to have someone stab him in the back, not Kondo.
I'm surprised for another reason. I thinks I know who stabbed him.
Someone both of us know well?
Believe it or not, yes.
So it's someone in our circle?
Yes. Our double-crosser is...
Back to Tempest.
A month had passed since my cabinet meeting. Today I was once again back in my control center and keeping up on my Imperial observations.
Benimaru and Rimuru were basically living in this place, with all their intelligence being gathered here.
With staff assigned to the control center at all times by this point, 3 shifts running the complex 24 hours a day during wartime, I wanted to be sure nobody was overworked.
Agreed, Your Majesty.
Managing our health, at least, was something I wanted to be thorough with. Of course, my comrade Veldora was not a concern of mine on that front, and neither was Ramirez.
Veldora and Ramirez were excited about the war at first, but seemed utterly bored with it now.
They were selfishly back in their own research lab now, telling me to inform them if something happened.
Zoe, Benimaru, Xian, Diablo, and Geld were with Rimuru in the control center.
I felt bad about halting Geld's construction projects for so long. I really wanted to get this war over with fast, before Frey started getting really mad.
We'll be ready soon.
The Empire's tank battalion, which I assumed would enter the scene in around 20 days, was moving far slower than expected.
They seemed to be crawling along on purpose, showing off their might.
A real monster was still going to be afraid of giant, horrible opponents. The magic beasts ranked A or below in the forest had already fled far away.
We could use this as a cover to stage a surprise attack, but we really do need to try talking at least once.
I know it's too slow for us, but we haven't finished our own preparations yet. I see no need to attempt to deceive them. We will decide everything in the first battle regardless.
I agree.
Rimuru watched over continued preparations for the anti-Empire war, feeling relieved.
Finally, all those days of waiting were about to come to a close. The Empire had stopped advancing and begun to assemble into formation.
Guess it's safe to assume this is the main force.
I imagine so. Apart from the tanks, they had brought platoons of infantry into the forest as well. Vast numbers, in fact.
Their total number had exceeded 700,000, around 70% of the Empire's entire force.
They intend to trap the Dwarven army, and their tanks are acting as decoys.
So, they're trying to avoid being pincered as they advance into our territory. They're being remarkably careful considering the size of this force.
Not that we didn't see through their schemes, of course. Having control over information puts us at quite the advantage.
Well played, Sir Rimuru. Dancing on your palm the whole time, were they not?
Regarding the Imperial infantry, I think we slightly underestimated the threat they pose.
Each one of the soldiers seems decently powerful enough, and we've seen nobody defect from their ranks.
If they're this close to our throats, wouldn't it seem unnatural if we didn't react?
No, I wouldn't be so sure. They see themselves as the superior force here, and what's more, they are trying to keep their actions covert.
I agree with Sir Benimaru. 19 miles is almost the perfect distance for the Imperial army.
So how strong are these foot soldiers?
If I could give a broad evaluation using the traditional human ranking system, they rank the equivalent of a B.
So, there are practically no emergency recruits among them? They're all career soldiers?
Right. From their training to the quality of their gear and tactics, they appear to outclass the Western nations' knights.
We'll be fine. That's what the dungeon is for.
Force them to scatter inside the dungeon, and it'll be easy to destroy the enemy before they unleash their full force.
You know, looking back, I'm really glad we have Ramirez here.
We'll keep our city from being damaged, and it'll be a breeze to maintain our advantage.
So it sounds like we've got no problems. But how is Gupta's force doing?
The Dwarven Kingdom has accepted Gobta's and Gabal's forces. This will be a united front, so they have not given up their command.
Sounds like there's no problem there.
I have my concerns about how well they'll mesh with the Dwarven force, but if the Tempestians attack and the Dwarves focus strictly on defense, I imagine things will turn out well.
Maybe I'd better talk things over with Gazelle one more time, just in case.
Indeed, with the Empire deploying, there is little time left before the start of hostilities.
The contact terminal, invented by Vesta, was a magical telepathic device. Rimuru used this device to contact King Gazelle.
Hello, this is Rimuru. Is King Gazelle there?
Hello, I will call for His Highness. Would you mind waiting a few moments in the meantime?
All right.
Rimuru could hear panicked activity on the other end.
How rude to keep Sir Rimuru himself waiting.
If that's what you think, maybe I should have had you make the call.
Personally, instead of relying on some gadget like this, I'd use spatial transport to meet the man himself.
It'd be more polite to set up an appointment first.
Well, if Sir Rimuru called for me without warning, it would be difficult for me not to panic.
Rimuru silently wished some of Geld's common sense would rub off on Cheyenne and Diablo. In less than 3 minutes, Rimuru heard back from Gazelle.
Sorry for the wait, Rimuru. I was just thinking I should contact you before long.